Hello, I'm John Ramsey, and welcome to Louisville Now. Good morning to you. The objective of this show is to champion people who are actively working to improve our city every day. And certainly my first guest is one of those. He is the Executive Director for MSD. His name is Tony Parrott. And Tony, we've chatted before, but welcome back in.
Thank you for having me, John. I appreciate it.
All right, before we get into your very busy spring,
Right.
to say the least, I think we should familiarize folks with exactly what you do, because it's three utilities in one, right, Tony?
That is correct. At MSD, we actually are responsible for wastewater treatment, stormwater and drainage, and also flood protection for Jefferson County. And, we also provide wastewater to Bullitt County and Oldham County as well. So we're three utilities in one, serving three counties in this Louisville metropolitan area. And we take every utility that we're responsible for very seriously, and we are dedicated and committed to providing clean, safe waterways for the community. And just one highlight, particularly with flood protection, back in April, we had the 8th largest flood event in Louisville along the Ohio River. And so we had to really go to all hands on deck.
Yes.
To be able to deal with that. During that flood period, we pumped out approximately 12 billion gallons of water out of the city. That was just a yeoman's effort by the MSD staff. And we're very proud of that, because we're protecting not only the downtown area, but we're also protecting the West End, we're protecting Old Louisville, we're protecting Churchill Downs, we're protecting a lot of areas. And that was in early April, and that was actually just 6 weeks after a smaller flood event in February. So we've had all hands on deck in February and in April to make sure that we could keep the city safe.
Yeah, you mentioned two key words there. You said dedication and commitment. And I think that was really on display during the spring, because this was unusual. This was record breaking. You mentioned two floods, and I think we were all affected in some ways.
Right.
So Tony, as we speak, and yes, thank you for really pointing out your staff and how hard they worked and championing them.
Right.
But your leadership is key here. So where do we stand now as we go into summer, and who knows what the weather brings in this community? But with that being said, where are we as far as recovery efforts?
As far as the recovery from the flood event, we are fortunate that we really didn't have any type of major damage inside the city's flood protection system. But I will tell you that every time we have a major flood event, we do a after event assessment of the flood protection system itself. And what we do know is that there's significant damage to some pumps that we're responsible for. We have 16 major flood pump stations and 27 miles of levee that we're responsible for along the Ohio River. So after that flood event, we have to do an assessment. And what we have found out is that we have some major repairs that we have to make to some of our flood pump stations. For example, I think there's approximately 10 or so pumps that are going to either have to be repaired or replaced. And it's going to cost us anywhere between $10 and $13 million to be able to address that. And also, when we run those flood pump stations, we have to pay a surcharge on our electric bill for the next 12 months. So that $10 to $13 million additional cost wasn't budgeted for. So now we got to figure out how we're going to make sure that we prioritize dealing with the flood protection system, making sure the system is ready when it's needed. And then, of course, that's going to impact, because now we have to push other projects out because we didn't have that $10 to $13 million budgeted.
Yeah, Tony, after talking to you, I became educated, and now I'm very happy to pay my MSD bill. So let's talk a little bit about your budget. You touched upon the fact that we're talking about huge dollars, not only for new facilities or whatever it takes to, but also to maintain the other facilities' structure. And when you have a flood like that, I'm sure there's massive damage. So your budget, how do you juggle that?
Well, an example for like our fiscal year 26 proposed budget, our capital program is approximately $321 million. And that sounds like a lot of money. But I can tell you that 90% of that is required either by regulatory requirements or federal mandates. And so it doesn't leave a whole lot left for us to be able to address those other needs of the system, i.e. flood protection, emergency projects, those type of things. The 90%, we have some very large projects that are under construction right now. And because they're so large, they're budgeted in phases. And so we've already initiated a large construction project at our Morris Foreman wastewater treatment plant. That's a biosolids replacement project. And that project was approximately $280 million. So next year, there's going to be about $83 million budgeted for just continuing work on that project. Or construction has started, should be wrapping up in 27. We have another very large project for our flood protection system at Patty's Run, another 3-year project where that project was estimated around $240 million. So we've budgeted in about $73 million to make sure we can continue completing that construction. And so when you think about the totality of what we do in the 90%, it doesn't leave a whole lot left to deal with emergency projects. It doesn't deal with a whole lot left to deal with the flood protection projects that I just mentioned that we got to do. And people may be familiar, particularly if you're close to the mayor's office. We had a emergency project right on 5th Street, right outside the mayor's office that wasn't budgeted, but we had to prioritize that and make sure that we do that work and get that sewer back in service. That sewer dated back to like 1860 and hadn't been exposed since then. So we had to do that sewer repair. It wasn't in the budget. And so we have to juggle things that way to where we're making sure we're prioritizing and we're addressing priority needs. And, you know, unfortunately, it does leave little money for maintenance of the system.
Interesting. So here's what, it's not as if you don't have enough on your plate.
Right.
But from what I understand, you also seek alternative funding.
That is correct.
Okay, so talk a little bit about that, because I think people don't realize that,
Yeah.
you know, hey, we're not just dependent on the public.
Sure.
And your bills that come in. You
Right.
need more than that.
That is
So
correct.
talk about that. Talk about Tony Parrott as a fundraiser.
Well, you know, one of the things that we always are tapped into is what funds we can try to get that are either going to lower the cost to the ratepayers, or is it going to be some grants or free money that will help us long term as well. So as it relates to, say, low interest loans that we qualify for through the state revolving loan fund, we try to make sure we're tapping that to make sure that we can get loans at a lower interest rate than we can if we went to the bond market. So I can tell you that with all the active projects that we have going right now, we have over $200 million of low interest loans that we've been able to secure from the state. And we've also had significant amount of federal grant monies, at least over $18 million of grant money for the Patty's Run project, for example. That's free money. And then we also are still working to figure out how we can even get more through the partnership with the Army Corps of Engineers. So we've got some agreements lined up with the Army Corps of Engineers. So some of the work that we're doing on Patty's Run and some of the other areas, we may get future credit for cost sharing from the federal government if we're able to get money through any type of federal grants for the flood protection system. We're working diligently with Senator McConnell's office. We're working diligently with Representative McGarvey's office and others to try to make sure that we can get some of those large dollar federal grants for flood protection projects in the future. And we're very optimistic that that's going to pay off for us in the long run.
For folks who are watching Louisville Now, I don't want to be alarmist or cryptic, but it seems that every time I turn on the TV, there is a story about a shortage of water somewhere in the country. Here in Louisville, we're very fortunate. We have the Ohio River.
Right.
And I also think it's important to talk about your commitment to clean water.
Yes.
Because we take it a little bit for granted here. Sure. We are fortunate, as I said, but that commitment remains regardless of flood, weather conditions.
Right.
I know that's very important to you, Tony.
It is very important, and not only with, say like the Ohio River, but we also want to make sure that some of the localized streams like Beargrass Creek and some of the other streams inside Jefferson County, that we're improving water quality as we do all of this work. An example would be, folks may remember a couple of years ago, we did a waterway protection tunnel. That was a huge project that cost us over $230 million. that project has been in service. And that right now we have eliminated approximately 6 billion gallons of combined sewer overflows from entering Beargrass Creek or the Ohio River. And the benefit to that is that we're seeing an improvement in water quality in the Ohio River in Beargrass Creek. And then we still have work that we're going to be doing through 2035 that's going to further eliminate what we call sanitary sewer overflows that may be occurring in our system. So every project that we do, we try to prioritize it to make sure that there's going to be an outcome or a benefit that's going to improve water quality and also public health as well.
Tony, with all that's on your plate, I'm amazed at the fact, for the most part, and this is actually a compliment, I don't even realize what you do because my life is going on very smoothly. I think for the majority of us, that's the case. No, don't get me wrong. Every once in a while with this flooding, flood conditions, and when you get that kind of rain, there's always going to be issues.
Sure.
But I have to compliment you on the fact that, for the most part, I don't know you exist, and that's a good thing. That's because you're doing your job. Your employees are doing their job.
Yeah, like I said before, our employees are dedicated, and whether it's a flood event or whether it's a major rain event or a power outage or any type of bad weather, our folks are on the job 24/7 to make sure that all of our systems, all of our assets are working. Because people don't want to go to the bathroom and flush and things aren't going away, right? So we take pride in that, and I can tell you that one of our biggest challenges right now is aging infrastructure. And so understanding that with only, maybe 10% of our capital dedicated to addressing emergencies and maintenance needs, it's a major concern for us, a real challenge for us, because we have to make sure we stay on top of those major preventative maintenance and maintenance of the wastewater treatment plants, and also the major sewer lines that take stormwater and drainage away from the neighborhoods. So it's a tough balance, and we try to prioritize those works through our asset management program.
Before I let you go, Tony, there's another topic I want to talk about. You have spent a lot of time, which is the sign of a good leader, talking about your employees and thanking them for their hard work. And I do think that's important. And I think here on Louisville Now, we'd also like to make folks aware of the economic impact you have on this community in terms of jobs.
Yes.
There are a lot of employees, a lot of people that you employ with good paying jobs, and they are helping the community. It's rewarding.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. We have over 700 employees that work for MSD in our 3 utilities. And they're very, very competent and very talented individuals. Our assets protect a lot of different, it brings economic value to the city of Louisville. For example, we're protecting probably over 500,000 jobs that actually exist because of our flood protection system. And we also make sure that we are protecting that, that payday or that gross domestic product and the payday of about $95 million a day. And then we also protect about $34 billion worth of property with our flood protection system. So they're very vital assets. They're very large projects. It's a very complex operation. And a lot of times people, they don't understand things because of the complexity. All they hear is, oh, well, my sewer bill is going to go up. And so, but we try to minimize those impacts as much as possible. This year, we've had to make some cuts. We've had to defer some projects. And, our rate increase is going to come in a little lower than it has historically. So we're looking at every ways we can cut costs and be efficient.
All right. Tony, I want to thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. And keep us updated, okay?
I will.
Because I'm sure we're going to have more weather catastrophes, unfortunately.
Sure.
And we certainly love to hear and be educated by you and your MSD staff.
Good deal.
Once again, you're watching Louisville Live, and we are Louisville Now, and we are absolutely live. Coming up, we're going to talk about a program from the Office for Women. Gretchen Hunt will be our guest, and we'll talk to her. We'll take a little break, and we'll be right back on Louisville Now.
My name is Robert Kennedy. I'm an equipment operator. I've been with the city a year and a half. I love my job. I love the job. People are nice to work with. We get along well. Besides, other than driving trucks, I'm a sanitation engineer. To me, it means I clean up, I pick up whatever needs to be done. We do it. We take care of it. People here are easy to work with. They don't mind teaching you, and you learn by the employees and by your superiors. Today we're doing complaints. They give us these forms. We go pick up, clean up alleys or clean up front of the yard, whatever the address is on the complaint. We go to that address. We clean it up, whether it's the alley or front of your yard, or maybe on the expressway somewhere. Dial those 3-digit numbers. Tell us you got a complaint, and they come take pictures of it. Then they give it to us, and we'll come clean it up. Every now and then we see a customer, they walk past and say, "Thank you very much, appreciate what you do." It feels good. Well, they can make sure they put the garbage in their cans, or if they got a spot, or they put all they want to pick up whenever they do call in the complaint. Make sure it's all in one general area. Like doing it, getting it done.
Copper wire theft is robbing us of our safety. Thieves are targeting our essential infrastructure, darkening roadways, disrupting emergency services, shutting down internet networks, and causing over $1 million in damages just last year. Copper wire theft is illegal. Mayor Craig Greenberg's Copper Wire Theft Task Force is getting results, but your help is needed. If you see something suspicious, call Crime Stoppers at 502-582-CLUE. You could get a $5,000 reward. Welcome back to Louisville Now. We are absolutely live, and I'm very excited about an initiative that has existed for a bit, but you may not be aware. It is exciting because it's about young people and getting them more familiar, educated about government for our future leadership. With me now is Gretchen Hunt. She is the director for the Mayor's Office for Women. Gretchen, welcome back.
Good morning. Good to see you.
We've chatted. You are a busy lady because it seems like every time I talk to you, you have some exciting initiative. This ambassador program that you have is certainly one of those. So give me a little bit of a history, how this was all, whose thought process was this? Sure. How did this come to fruition?
Absolutely. So the Office for Women Ambassador Program is in its third year, and it grew out of a partnership really with the Office of Immigrant Affairs, who ran a global Louisville Leadership Academy, had done it for, I think, 12 years. And so we adopted that for women and gender diverse or non-binary folks. So we said, how do you do this to foster leadership and civic engagement of women and non-binary folks in our community? And so we tweaked it a little bit and started it 3 years ago.
You're working here in Metro government, it seems to me, and I realize this would be a quick turnaround, but it seems to me you're already making an impact because I see it seems to me, a lot more female presence in jobs that were previously predominantly male. Am I wrong?
No, and actually it's interesting you say that because the mayor has also tasked me with working on trying to get more qualified women into policing and fire. And just about 2 weeks ago, we were at a Racing Louisville game, Go Racing. They have a game tonight for Pride Night. And I ran into an ambassador and asked her, do you know anyone who is interested in being a firefighter? And she said, well, talk to my girlfriend. And I talked to her. And we brought her over to Captain Tamara Stewart, who is an amazing leader with the Louisville Fire Department, and she was there recruiting, and they met through that connection with the ambassador program. And Allie signed up that night to be a recruit in this year's class. So that, I think, is testimony to the power of the network of Office for Women Ambassadors, both connecting them to city government, but also connecting them with each other and just sharing information in our community.
Gretchen, tell me a little bit about the curriculum. I know it's a better understanding of government. So what exactly do you have on the dais there?
Yeah, so it's a mix. So it's a day a month for 6 months, and they're learning about different departments in city government, from parks to planning to public safety, and also sprinkled in there are some leadership workshops. So you're trying to really build up individual leadership, collective leadership. We do things like going over to Metro Council to meet with Metro Council members and learn how do you go and speak about an issue before Metro Council. They meet with deputy mayors, they meet with leadership across government. And so they're really able to ask a lot of questions directly of people. And when people meet each other, it makes government a lot less intimidating.
So if someone's watching now, we have a young female who's watching says, wow, this is exciting to me. I've always wanted to get into government or be a fireman or a policeman, whatever the case may be. How do they apply?
Yeah, and it's actually open for all ages, for women and gender diverse folks of all ages. So we have had young women as young as 18, and I think somebody in their 70s. So it's actually a range. It's open to everybody.
Nice.
But they will apply in the in the fall, we'll open up applications again. The program starts in January, and then 6 months from January to June. So stay tuned. They can follow us on any social media for Office for Women and look at those offerings.
This has to be rewarding for you because, you know, a lot of times we throw around, you know, future leadership, and we talk about, you know, this is your chance to, but you're actually educating and positioning women to actually do what they pursue and learn more about it. Because I don't know if there's an actual class, you know, you can take civics classes all you want, but as far as this specific on hand, like talking to a councilman or a council person, that's really valuable.
Well, and I think the thing is, these are already leaders in the community. So it's a very competitive process. We had 161 people apply last year for about 30 spots from all 26 Metro Council districts. So we're already looking for people who are in their community leading in some way, that they are already connected. Okay. They may not have a formal leadership role or a title, but we're looking at somebody who's able to take the information and then spread it out. So I really think that we're curating this space and the time for women to connect with each other and build up their confidence and build up their relationships and their social capital in this city to then lead. But yes, we are connecting the dots for people, but really the magic happens between the women and folks themselves. And you hear that over and over again. And then in turn, they come back and they are my eyes and ears in the community to let me know, Gretchen, this is an issue impacting women in my neighborhood, or this is an issue you should look at. Or some of our ambassadors started a working group on domestic violence, and they're meeting on their own to look at that issue. So they really do take it and run with it, and then work out in community and continue to help my office.
Before I let you go, Gretchen, I've enjoyed the conversation. And where would folks go? Is there a website, or if they want more information, where would they go?
Yes, so they could go to Louisville Metro and just look for Office for Women. On Instagram, we're OFW Lou Metro. And then after next week, we will have a recording of the ambassador graduation where they're going to be talking about their projects and policy. So stay tuned for social media to hear more updates.
All right, once again, Gretchen Hunt, she is the director for the Mayor's Office for Women. Hey, as she mentioned, go to that website, make calls, find out more about this ambassador program. Very exciting. Okay, coming up on Louisville Now, and we are absolutely live. We're going to talk about 502 Black Business Week. Okay, what does that entail? Coming up next on Louisville Now.
My name's Mary Burton. I'm a packer driver at Waste Collection. I've been here 5.5 years. I like the people that I work with, the people in the community. They come out, speak to you. It just becomes like family oriented.
Morning. Thank you.
Especially the kids that come out and wave. They're your regulars. You look forward to seeing them. I started behind the truck tipping, and then I worked my way up, getting my license and then training, and I've been driving ever since. When I first started, I was so scared because I'm really short. A senior driver here, he just talks to me. He's like, you can't be scared. You're the biggest thing out here. Everybody's scared of you. Don't be scared of the truck. So that really encouraged me to like drive differently. Once I just got the hang of it, it's just like driving a car now, riding a bike, chewing bubblegum. Actually, just the other day, I thought it was really sweet. One of my tippers, we was behind a tarp, and it was like an older woman getting off the tarp, and he like took off his gloves and initiated like want to go help her, and I was like, oh, that just made my heart like warm. But yeah, I mean, we run into things like that all the time on the route. You know, we work out here in the community, so it's a lot of stuff that we will see, and we just like take action and initiative. It's just in us to help. I just love my job, what I do, really. It's a lot, it's challenging, but I mean, I'm up for any challenge. I'm always into like growing, so eventually I want to venture out and like be somewhere else, maybe eventually be a supervisor or something like that.
Welcome back to Louisville Now. We are absolutely live, and I'm excited about an upcoming week here. Actually, I think we're in the midst of it. It is 502 Black Business Week, and there's lots to talk about, whether it be food and fashion, professional services, health and wellness. There are a lot of successful Black businesses here in Louisville, and we certainly want to champion them and talk about it. All right, with me now is Leslie Pryor and Philip Baynard.
Yes.
Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so right now we're in the midst of Black Business Week, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this seemed to me to be like a grassroots effort that has kind of taken a life of its own. It's exciting, so tell me about it, Leslie.
Yes. So Tiandra formed it in 2018, and I've actually been a business every single year since 2018. So Leslie Pryor Productions has been a part of it.
And Philip, tell me a little bit about your business and how you got involved.
Sure. My business is called PAB Management. I offer coaching and consulting to small businesses as well as event and management services for the entertainment industry. And I have my standing on business merchandise line as well.
So it seems to me, Leslie, Philip, that this is really more than a marketing campaign. It's more than an awareness campaign. It is kind of a pride thing as well. How would you define 502 Black Business Week, Leslie?
It's a celebration of Juneteenth. So it runs through Juneteenth, which is now a national holiday. And so Juneteenth is so important to also spotlight Black-owned businesses.
Okay, and Philip, since you consult, you're probably familiar in a very personal way with a lot of these business owners. Talk a little bit about a few of the businesses, maybe some that folks who are watching Louisville Now aren't aware of and maybe should be, right?
Yeah, sure. So I've had the opportunity to collaborate with Tiandra, her business, T. Marie Consulting, which is the founding company of the week itself. The Service Station, which is a Black-owned barbecue spot. I've had the opportunity to collaborate with them. They just recently opened at the end of last year. So those are just a couple of businesses that I've had the opportunity to collaborate with.
Yeah, I think this is such a good idea in that, we all go through our work day. We got bills to pay. We have things to do. And we never think, hey, I'm doing pretty well here. Things are going good. And I want to encourage other Black business owners to do the same. Talk to me a little bit about that, because when you get out and you talk to your peers, people who are, you say, hey, you know what, you're doing well. Let's feel good about it, right?
Yes, feel good about it. It's just so inspiring. I know for me, I'm second generation business owner. My grandfather was a business owner as well. And so I'm just really excited to be able to get the message out, because not only do we entertain, but we inform and educate. So that's part of our mission.
So if someone wanted to get involved, Philip, Leslie, jump in here. If someone wanted to get involved with 502 Black Business Week, understanding, of course, we're currently going through here, but maybe in the future or be part of other initiatives that maybe stemmed from 502 Black Business Week, how would they get in touch with you guys? How would they know?
Yeah, there's actually a website, 502blackbusinessweek.com, that lists all of the businesses that are participating this week. And Tiandra actually leaves that website up year round. So you can just go to the website and contact her via the website.
Leslie, we touched upon your business a little bit, but tell us more about it.
Yeah, so we do stage productions, so live theater. We also do murder mystery dinner shows and formal events. Yes, and we do production management as well. So if a business owner needs management, we'll do that as well.
Okay, during this 502 Black Business Week, which, as I said, I love the idea and I think it's much needed. Yes. The community of Louisville right now, I think we're going through a bit of a, for lack of a better term, a renaissance. This pride feeling. I think we're moving in the right direction. I love the way Mayor Greenberg understands we must champion Black businesses, and he does that.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel that as well?
Yes.
Yeah, most definitely. I really love how the city of Louisville is supportive of the Black-owned businesses and stuff of that nature, and we really feel the love during this week and the support from this community.
Yes, I agree.
I love hearing that.
I agree.
So I mentioned food, fashion, professional services, health and wellness, lots of 502 Black businesses to really speak about. Okay, but I need a recommendation, okay? If I was going shopping, and I will be soon, for my wife, where would I go?
Millionaire Marketplace?
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. So there's the Millionaire Marketplace on 4th Street Live. I also have an accessories business. If your wife loves jewelry,
I like your style. All right. Appreciate the recommendation.
Yes.
Once again, 502 Black Business Week. Yes, indeed, it is going on right now. We thank you for joining us. This has been Louisville Now, and we have been absolutely live. Thank you for watching.